All right, today this is a Shelly Eat Steak recipe. I'm going to make Trey's coconut fat bombs. The reason I started making fat bombs is I got a coach and she's upped my fat, and the easiest way to get fat other than just eating frozen butter, which is certainly okay, is little fat bombs. So I created my own, and what you're going to need today is some coconut oil, about a half cup, a can of unsweetened coconut cream, some unsweetened coconut flakes or shredded flakes, and as a little treat, I got the Lily's white chocolate chips, and then you'll also need some form of molds. Now I got this one, the recipe should make about 30 servings. So this is 18 and I have another one, so I'll fill about 2 of these up. And so each one is great, you know, just to add to your meal and gives a good fat. I don't add any additional sweetener because to me everything is already sweet enough on its own. And then plus with the Lily's chips, that will definitely sweeten everything up. But if you like things a lot sweeter, add your sweetener of choice to it. Taste and learn. All right, let's get started. Okay, so whenever I'm making recipes, 2 macros, I weigh everything out to the gram. So I got my pan here because we're going to have to heat up the coconut oil to get it nice and liquid. So I'm going to do 120 grams, which is basically a half a cup. So I got my scale on. That's 90. Oh, we're almost out. This is from Costco. Really going through this. Okay. Oh, that's 120 on the dot. All right, we'll get that on the stove, and as that starts melting, then we're going to weigh out our other ingredients. Be right back. All right, I got my coconut oil in here, and it's almost melted. So what I do, open my can of coconut cream. Ooh, look at all that cream. Isn't that good? And I'll just start. I'm going to use the whole can for these. So I'll put that in here. And then slowly pour this out, because usually the cream's at the top and all the liquid, the milk is underneath. So you don't want it to splash up on you. So add in, oh, look at that. I find that coconut cream doesn't seem to bother me like heavy cream does, so I think this is a good dairy alternative, and I am trying to limit my dairy intake. So this is definitely a good way to go if you're trying to be dairy free or low dairy. All right, so I'm just gonna let that sit here. I'm gonna do it under medium low heat because I don't want this to boil. I just want it to all liquefy and meld together. So while that's going, I got my coconut flakes. I'm kind of excited. I saw these at the store and I was like, oh, that'll be really good. So I want 60 grams, which is like 4 tablespoons. Goodness, it doesn't seem like much, but then it really seems to add up, doesn't it? Oops. Okay, that was too much, so almost 61. Ooh, now we got 60. Good. And then what I'll do, if my cameraman will like to come over here and watch as I do this. So I got my coconut. Here's this. And I'm going to actually switch to a little spatula. So I'm going to start adding the coconut flakes in kind of slowly and just stir constantly as I'm adding it in. And this adds a nice texture to it. I did make them last week without any of the shredded coconut. It was still really good to me. I didn't do the Lily's chips either, but it was still good as just a quick thing. And what I did sometimes is I would add one of the little pucks to my coffee, so it kind of made it a coconut coffee. Okay, so I added all that. Just stir this up. Again, we just want it on medium low or low because we just want it all to melt together. And then I'll actually turn it off now. Just let that kind of sit there and soak together for a minute. And just keep stirring for a couple of minutes just because that coconut oil tends to get on the top of it. So you just really want that all together. And then plus the coconut shredded flakes will start kind of blooming up a little bit. All right, now I'll show you just a minute. Okay, so now it's the little chocolate chips. Well, it's white chocolate. So pre-keto, I loved white chocolate, which, little known fact, there's no actual chocolate in white chocolate. It's just sweet sugar. So no wonder I loved it, right? So for this, I need 28 grams. So let's get started. I think that's like 2 servings. Keep your hands out. How am I going to measure correctly? Stop. I'm going to hurt you.
It's so good.
Right. So I got 27. There, 28. And then this is what I do. Instead of mixing it all in here, I just, to make sure, because I'm like greedy like that, I want to make sure every little puck gets at least one. So I'm going to put one of these. Oh, they melt fast. They're already starting to melt in my hand. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get rid of these quick. Now these others that are in here are actually some lemon fat bombs I made last week. Okay. Ooh. So right here, this is going to be 30. Oh look, I have some more. I might end up doing more than 30. We'll just see. But that's 30 right there. So, I'm going to stir this over again one more time. Look at that. And it smells so good. I always loved coconut. Always enjoyed coconut, anything. Like, I loved Almond Joys. Oh my goodness. They were so good. Alright, so let's do that. And then what I'm going to do, let's just start pouring these. And because it's a little hot, the chocolate chip might melt a little, but that's fine with me. Okay, so I'm just going to start filling my mold here, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, actually, so depending on the size of your molds, I got 45 of these mini ones. So, that's a lot. Which is good, because then, instead of having one, maybe I can have 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is pop these in the freezer for at least 4 hours, because coconut oil at room temperature, these will be soft or almost liquid. So even in the fridge, I've noticed they'll be too soft. So I just keep them in the freezer and just pop one out when I'm ready. And these type of molds, the little silicone ones, are easy to just pop up when you're ready to have one. Okay, now I'm putting these in the freezer. Make sure you have a nice spot. Now some people will put these on like a cookie sheet and take them in your freezer. If you have that type of room, definitely do that. As you can see, we have like a half freezer. So I'm just going to do that. Put one here. And just be careful as you're carrying them because they are liquid. That there. Alright. And then the last little tray. That's real good. Turn the light out. Okay, so we'll let these go in the freezer. Again, not the most perfect setup for freezing them, but you gotta do what you can work with, right? So I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think about this recipe. After this freezes, I'll give you a little taster and tell you what I think. Hey y'all, welcome back. So I was like, this is Heath's channel. He could be the sampler and tell me what he thinks of my creation. So I've got them all out of the molds. I pulled them out probably about 10 minutes ago. And see, look at the little coconut chunks already coming out of the molds there. The dark yellow parts is the Lily's chocolate chip. So there's one in each little bite. And these are little mini bites. Put your thumb up against it, babe. Show them how small it is. See? They're tiny. Alright, so Heath gets to sample.
Alright, I'm gonna go for a cupcake from my cupcake. That's pretty good. Just a little slight hint of sweetness. A lot of notes of coconut. And it just basically melts in your mouth. It's beautiful. I could sit here and eat this whole plate full. They're really good. I should have went for the bigger one. But she used to make these on a daily basis. I like them. I like having them in the house. Y'all should get you some of these. They're really good. So as I sneak another bite, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment or two. And make sure you share with your buddies. I appreciate all y'all's support. And I'll see y'all on the next one.